as it gets.
No.
So now you get your county commissioners to join this American Lands Council and join with other counties and cities and businesses and individuals. So we've got the resource to move forward. It takes resource to move this forward, but it's happening. Guess what? In 10 months from Utah passing the bill, Wyoming's passed a transfer of public lands bill.
Get your flag.
Idaho's passed a transfer of public lands bill. Nevada right now is debating, they're going to pass a transfer of public lands bill. Montana's got the bill, they're debating it up there right now. New Mexico had a great debate this year. We got more work to do. It's going to be a little harder. Your good representatives here, Representative Sonnenberg, Senator Renfro, and others, these good representatives here, they're introducing this bill in Colorado, but you got work to do here. You got to build that leverage and tell people, look, this is about the economic self-reliance of our state. This is about the education equality of our children. This is about better care of our lands and not burning up millions of animals and destroying our watershed for generations. So we start building that leverage, right? This is where we start. This is where we start. Are you ready to be silent no more? Are you ready to be silent no more? It's already been done, folks. What's our problem? We have the opportunity of a generation to leave to our children a solution that is big enough. Are you ready to act? Yeah. Now let me just leave you with, thank you so much for letting me come be here with you today. Let me just leave you with this thought, all right? Let me just leave you with this thought. I love this statement because I think if he were here today, he'd say this same thing. In 1985, Ronald Reagan, the height of the Cold War, right? Nuclear proliferation, built bombs building up, red phone. It was all tense. We didn't know what was going to happen from one moment to the next. Ronald Reagan made this statement, and I think if he were here today, he would say it even more emphatically today because it applies more today than it did in 1985. He said, "This is a wonderful time to be alive. We are lucky not to live in pale and timid times." Especially in Colorado. We are lucky not to live in pale and timid times. We've been blessed with the opportunity to stand for something. You ready to stand for something? Yes! For liberty and freedom and fairness, he said, and these are things worth fighting for, worth devoting our lives to. So let us go forward with good cheer and stout hearts. Happy warriors out to seize back a country and a world of freedom. You ready to take back Colorado? Yeah! Are you ready to stand with Utah and Idaho and Wyoming and Nevada and Arizona and Montana and take back Colorado? Yeah! Are you ready for the only solution big enough? Yeah! All right, get back there, sign that up. I'm going to look forward to hearing from you. I want to come back to Colorado. I'm so proud to be here. I'm so honored to be here. Are you ready to take back Colorado? Yeah! Let's go do it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. We're going to try and get through these things. So we've got some great speakers here that we want to get to. We're going to have Sean Page up here in just a minute from Americans for Prosperity. Randy Litweiler's here from Oxbow Mine. I really want to hear what he has to say. And, of course, we don't want to miss what David Justice has to say here, too. You know, all you guys out here are going to be messengers, too. But you're not just listening. I don't want you to be sitting here and passively listening. You absorb this stuff. Some of the things like Ken said and things like that. You need to take this message to people who aren't here today and talk about that. You have to be the messengers out there. You know, we're just really sort of, this is like training the trainers here today for you folks. And, you know, Maggie Thatcher passed away this week. It's a great loss to us all. Tremendous, tremendous patriot for her country and for the world. You know, what she said was that there's no such thing as public money. There's only taxpayers' money. And when it comes to land, there's no such thing as public land. There's only citizens' lands. Okay? We hide behind this idea that it's everybody's and yet nobody's. So Ken Ivory's position is extremely important and good to remember, and please pass it on. All right, ladies, the Citizens for Liberty here are going to be singing My Country 'Tis of Thee quickly, and get you guys all set up here? All right. Okay, well then take it away.
Some of the guys back in 1966.
Just don't expect us to sound like a glee club because we don't practice or anything. But these are the worker bees of the Republican Party, of all the campaigns that we have worked for, etc. We would like to have you join us in singing My Country 'Tis of Thee. That's something I sang from the time I was really little. So if you'd all stand, I think it might be easier to sing it. And we might even sing it twice because it's nice and short. No, only one. In other words, they're cutting our time. So do a good job the first time. Thank you. Let's go. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land where the pilgrims ride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. Thank you all for coming. We are going to be running around the crowd giving freebies to all the ladies, so don't hide from us when we come.
Don't hide from us.
All right, we're going to have... I'm just too tall for all of this, actually. We're going to have Sean Page come up here for Americans for Prosperity, a position that seems to be disappearing from the public discourse these days. Prosperity for America, that seems like it's a radical concept. I mean, I don't know where you get that anymore. I thought we're going to just manage our decline was what we were kind of in business for now. Sean, come on up. I'm just going to have you just jump in here and go ahead.
Oh boy.
Thank you, folks. I'm Sean Page with Americans for Prosperity. Some of you know who we are, probably. Some don't. I've got a little table, the smallest table, display table over there. Yeah. Raise your hand. There's T-shirts on there. Help yourself. Those are all freebies, some information. We're a national foundation based in the belly of the beast back in D.C., where I worked for 14 years, by the way. But we're also a grassroots organization. We've got 70,000 members here in the state of Colorado. We're growing that all the time. It's a grassroots army. You know, we don't work for any party. We work for conservative, libertarian values. Less government, less regulation, all the things we're talking about today. So I'm really happy to be here, and we're happy to be participants in this. It's a good day to be out of Colorado Springs. I don't know if you saw this today, but North Korea is specifically targeting Colorado Springs with their missiles. There was a story today about that. So it's a good day to be out of Colorado Springs. Notice they're not targeting Boulder. I don't know why. Maybe there's some Conrad to Conrad courtesy there. You know, it's like, let's try to shoot over Boulder. We don't want to wipe out some of our like-minded people in Boulder. So it's good to be out. It's always great. I love what Ken Ivory had to say about public lands. It's so important. So I'm really honored to follow him. He's right on about all that. And it's really a disgrace. It's really a disgrace that our senators and our governor are such doormats for the absentee federal landlord in Washington. Why is that? It's not a partisan thing. These are our lands. We're impacted when the forests go bad, when we can't use our resources, but our Democratic senators and our governor, whatever the Washington wants, they'll roll over for it. We're gonna not drill on the Roan Plateau. We're going to restrict shale gas. We're gonna shut down coal mines and make war on coal in this state. We're gonna do anything. We're gonna bring endangered species listings into this state. They're gonna impact our job situations. And what do our senators do? Nothing. What does our governor do? Nothing. They're doormats. They're doormats for this absentee landlord from Washington who can't even manage their own budget. They can't manage the federal land. So what Ken Ivory had to say is exactly true. We need to take back the lands, and we need a full partnership, a real partnership, because we're impacted when our forests burn, and we're impacted when our jobs aren't created here. So it's really important that we get our senators on the ball. But they're putting their party loyalty. Why are they saying nothing? Because there's a Democrat in the White House right now. He can do anything he wants with Colorado, and we're just going to lay down for it. They're putting their party loyalty above what's the interest of this state. Any Democrat, even a Democrat, should be standing up to say, wait a minute, Washington, we want a real partnership here. So what Ken Ivory is saying is exactly right. I really applaud the work that they're doing. He mentioned the royalty payments. I love this. I mean, this is money. This isn't coming from the general treasury. They just cut this state out of $8 million of royalty payments, energy royalties, in a way to punish us, right? Our president now wants to punish us. The GAO, the Government Accountability Office, just put out a report last week showing billions, untold billions in government waste, right? Redundant programs, wasteful programs, all kinds of stuff we know. But okay, but they're going to short us $8 million in royalty payments that we earned. This isn't money that just comes out of the Treasury. This is money that energy companies pay in to the Treasury that's supposed to come back to us, the states that are impacted, the communities are impacted. And so instead of cutting out the billions of dollars of waste in Washington, they're going to punish us. That's what it's come to, really, right? We've got a president, and through the I call it sequestration sadism. It's like, we've got all the money in America. We can waste it at will. We can fly around on the jumbo jet and go play golf with Tiger Woods. But when we have to do a 2% or 3% budget cut, we're going to punish you, the citizens. It's outrageous. It's really outrageous. And I don't know. I feel the fervor here today. But I'll tell you, considering that this country was founded over a tea tax, and people went to war over it and killed other people, I think we still have some work to do. I mean, we got to harness it, we got to harness this anger creatively. We have tax day coming up, as you know, April 15th. It's a glorious day. It's a glorious day for Washington. It sucks up all this money, right? It's a crappy day for the rest of Americans. But we also have another day in April that's tax related, and I don't know if you know about Tax Freedom Day. Some of you have heard of Tax Freedom Day. The Tax Foundation every year calculates how long from January 1, how long is the average American working to pay the tax bill? After that day, you're working for yourself. Before that day, you're working for the government. This year, do you know what the Tax Freedom Day is this year? It's April 18th this year, which is 5 days later than it was last year. So we're moving Tax Slavery Day. You could call it Tax Slavery Day too, because up until that point, you're working basically for the government. And so now it's April 18th, moving in a complete opposite direction. Those are the most insidious kind of taxes, but there are all kinds of other taxes. Regulation is stealth taxation. Every time Washington passes a law, and that's all they do, and every time Denver passes a law, that's all they do is pass laws. Those cost us money. Every time somebody mentioned earlier, I think Rick talked about the new renewable energy portfolio standard that they want to impose on rural co-ops in the state. That's a tax. It's a tax because the rural co-ops who can't meet these mandates, they can't go out and build wind farms at a time, or they're going to have to shut down their coal-fired power plants. They're going to have to build natural gas plants to meet these mandates. Mandates that are being pushed by urbanites on the other Front Range, including from my backyard. John Morris lives in Colorado Springs, supposedly conservative Colorado Springs. He's pushing this. It's all going to cost you money. It's all your money. Their feel-good feelings, right? It's all about their feelings. They want to feel good. They want to feel like they're saving the planet, but it's all coming out of your pocketbook. Their effort to save the planet, your higher utility bill. So it's outrageous. Again, I mentioned that we had T-shirts back there.
Do you want to sign the one?
This is emblematic of the problem in this country. We printed these T-shirts. It was Obama's Failing Agenda Tour. We had a bus tour last fall through Colorado. We printed this last fall, and it's already out of date. It's got everything. Almost everything on this shirt has gotten worse. We thought we were going to be able to retire these shirts at the end of last fall, but we don't. But they're still relevant, right? It says 1.7 trillion healthcare takeover, otherwise known as Obamacare. That's laughable. It's way more than 1.7 trillion. Even in this state, we're going to have to hire tens of thousands of navigators. Have you heard of this? The law is so complicated and convoluted and screwed up that we're going to have to, at state expense, hire navigators so that the people, when they're so confused and they can't maneuver through the health exchanges, they're going to have to call these people. And you can bet sooner or later there'll be government employees that get big paychecks, get big pensions, and the rest. And that's just what's on the state. We have to expand the Medicaid program to comply with Obamacare. That's just putting more people in entitlement of a program that's unsustainable as is. Okay, so we know that is a lie, $1.7 trillion for Obamacare. Here's another one, 42 straight months of unemployment above 8%. Well, let's be fair. That number has changed a little bit, right? We've dipped down below the 8% to 7.9, 7.8. It's a triumph. It's a triumph for stimulus spending. Actually, the only reason we've dipped down there is because people are dropping out of the workforce. Americans have given up. And companies aren't even offering full-time employment anymore because Obamacare sets the full-time thing at 30 hours. You know, 40 hours used to be the full-time work week, right? Well, Obamacare changed that to 30 hours. So they're screwing the working people. Now companies that can't afford to comply with Obamacare are cutting people who used to have 40 hours. They're cutting them back to 30 hours to avoid it. You can't blame the companies. They're trying to protect their bottom line. So people are dropping out, and even those people who are working, we're turning into a part-time society because of Obamacare. What else? 16 trillion national debt. We blew through that. We already, raised the debt limit again, right? Billions wasted on Solyndra and green energy scams. Have we stopped that? No, we're doubling down. I've never heard a president use the term doubling down. I mean, that's a term you use when you go to Vegas and hit the craps table, right? You're going to double down. But that's the mentality of the people who are playing with our money. They call it investment. It's not. It's wasted money, your tax money. It's outrageous, and they're doubling down on all these things, even though there have been many failures. Solyndra is one we all know about. There's Fisker Motors. It goes on and on and on and on and on. I gotta tell you, I hope these people, when they finally retire, don't go into the investment business and ask for private money or invest their own private money. Nobody in your right mind would put your private money with these people, right? Would you put your private money, and would you let Obama invest your private money? Would you let the Secretary of, the ex-Secretary of Energy, who was a physicist, invest your money? No, you wouldn't. Not in your right mind. Why are we letting them spend our tax dollars that way? Thank you all for coming out today. Learn more about Americans for Prosperity. We're a grassroots group. Yes, we care about national issues, the ones I mentioned, but we really come into your communities. We want to help. Even the school board race, we can be involved in that. We've been involved in the Front Range. We're involved in Douglas County right now. So find out what we're about. We're on the web. We're on Facebook. Really appreciate you coming out today and giving us your time. It's great to see all the patriots, and it's good to be out of Colorado Springs when we're about to be nuked by the North Koreans. Thank you very much.
Well, we have Tea Party gathering. I mean, we're a branch of the Tea Party, and we're just people. All right, now. Our biggest effort.
I thought I need to show my Second Amendment support here. This will probably get you in the penitentiary in New York, okay? It's a lighter.
Where do you live?
Arvin gave this to me. Did Ken have that? Is that what Ken had?
You used to live in the back, though, so I know.
Oh, who did
all of that?
You shouldn't have anything like this.
There's your BLM propaganda right there.
This is kind of indicative, isn't it? I mean, this is scary all by itself. I hope nobody took cover when I carried it up.
They ain't going to keep nobody out.
That's good. But this is what you have. These are the BLM folks who are back.
We've had really good speakers. I'm really impressed. And Sean and I've been talking about trying to get some people over here. I know we have a sign-up booth over here to try and get Rand Paul in. Sean's been talking about trying to get, we're really working on getting Michelle Malkin to come over here. And she does live in Colorado Springs. By the way, I didn't hear if Sean mentioned or not, but did you mention where they showed Colorado Springs on the map? Did you see where they showed Colorado Springs on the map? And yeah, if you look at the map the North Koreans put out of these 4 places they want to get, because they want to get Cheyenne Mountain, and so they think Colorado Springs is somewhere right around Birmingham is about where they have it on the map. So you guys are pretty safe. I think you're pretty safe. There's somebody working a peanut field in Alabama, though, that they're in big trouble. So anyway, Randy, do you want to come on up? I've been very interested in hearing Randy Litweiler from Oxbow. These guys are under attack. There's a war on coal. There seems to be a war on mining. There seems to be a war on working man. And I really wanted to hear what he had to say. So Randy, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Hello, how is everybody? Good? Today I want to thank you for allowing me to participate in this year's event. And before we get going too far, let me apologize if I struggle a little bit. I'm not a politician, and I'll tell you, public speaking is not at the top of my to-do list. A little bit on the mining. We can talk all night about mining, but I really didn't come to talk about mining. I just came to talk about the mess Colorado and the mess that the country is in, and kind of give my perspective on a few things. Everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. First, I'd like to start by just giving you a little information on myself. I've lived in western Colorado about 50 years. My wife and her parents are both from western Colorado, been here all their lives. I received a degree in mining engineering from the